I had two options: to either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month, and at 24 years old, knowing when I'm 50 fucking years old, I can reflect on this and think about what guy I never became, or I can totally just sack it up and fail and fail and fail until I succeed. So I started calling recruiters up. I said, I'm gonna go be a fucking Navy SEAL. And every recruiter, so there's a weight and height, so the weight and height limit to get in the military. And I was 6'1" and 297. And I had prior service, which was a big deal. So I called all these recruiters up, and all of them said, hey, how tall are you, blah, 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 blah. They got into conversation to see if I was even qualified. And by the time I got to my weight, phone would hang up pretty much like, hey, you know what, call somebody else, try to get in the reserves.
The vast majority of people need to take more responsibility. I think that it is a great counter to a victim mindset. I think that it helps people with agency and sovereignty. I can see elements in my life, though, of times when I've blamed myself for things which I'm in no way even remotely associated with. So for instance, let's say that I'm doing a podcast with someone, or I'm doing a live event, right? And I'm facilitating some discussion, and I ask a question and the guest fluffs the response, like gives a poor response. A lot of the time, the first place that I would go is, that was on me. Somehow I should have asked a better question. And even if I'd asked the absolute perfect question, and you could roll that forward into a relationship, that you're in a relationship with a bad partner, or something occurs. I'm trying to find that line of how people can balance it so that they don't end up putting so much pressure and weight on them that it crushes them.
I started looking down on people for not going hard as fucking shit. And I started to create different things, but that's for a different day. But I just believed that my whole mind changed.
That is a problem that a lot of people who work hard do have. You get angry at people who don't work hard to the point where you want to insult them. You want to smack them. And it's really because you're scared of seeing that in yourself.
So if you're working for me and you don't show up on time, or you're not professional when you're conducting your briefs, I need to say something to you, and I need to take ownership of the fact that I haven't made it clear that, hey, you need to show up on time, and hey, you need to be more professional, and hey, you need to wear the right uniform or dress the part. I need to take ownership of that. And maybe if I do, and I talk to you and we discuss why it's important, and you say, oh yeah, I really didn't think about that, and you change your ways and you get on board and you start showing up on time, and you start acting more professional, it's great, we solve the problem. There's also a chance that you're late again, or you show up, with booze on your breath or whatever, and we're meeting with a client, and I say, hey, Chris, you can't do this. Look, I'm serious. You cannot act this way. This reflects bad on all of us. And and I might even say, listen, if you keep this up, you're not even gonna be working here anymore. I'm gonna have to get rid of you. And you say, no, I love working with you. It's gonna be great. I won't do it again. And maybe that solves your problem. Or maybe you're late again, or you continue to act unprofessionally, and then I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm going to say, hey, Chris, look, I talked to you. I tried to explain this to you. And at a certain point, this job isn't for you. So that can happen. And I have to take ownership of the fact that you are actually not capable of doing this job that I've asked you. So that's fine.
I love to see people who were getting beat down. And there's scenes. There's scenes that just drove me. And people in my Hell Weeks, I was in 3 of them, they'd always hear me singing these songs, humming these songs in torturous situations. When everybody's quitting this fucking code, I would be somewhere fucking gone, and somewhere fucking dark as shit. There's a scene in Platoon when Barnes shoots Elias, and they think Elias is dead, and the choppers are taking off, and Charlie Sheen's asking, Tom Berenger, where's Elias? William Dafoe. Oh, I found him back there dead somewhere. And through the woods, the Viet Cong is chasing Elias through the woods, and they're shooting him in his fucking back. And all he wants to do is get to the fucking chopper. He's getting shot in his back, he's getting up, he's getting shot in his back, he's getting up. And you see this guy just fighting. I love the fucking guy who just fucking fights. And so I put these things in as reminders that you're gonna have to fucking suffer, man. This fucking .25, man, you're gonna have to fucking suffer.
All of the concerns that we have, all of the sleepless nights and the neuroses and the overthinking and the confusion and the uncertainty and the self-doubt and all of that stuff, all combined together, I think probably net us about maybe 5 or 10% better outcomes in life. It's my belief that most of the qualities that you have, your integrity, your virtue, your discipline, your hard work, your growth-mindedness, your humor, your resilience, all of that, are forces that are very, very difficult for you to slow down, and that once they've got started, it's incredibly hard for you to stop them. And what you're doing with all of the extra concern that comes over the top of that is just making your day-to-day experience of it a lot more miserable. And I've been thinking a lot about how can you amor fati, right? The love of fate, the love of the destiny that I have is the one that's going to come. I understand that I have control over it. I understand that I have agency, that I have sovereignty, that I can impact my destiny. But also that all of the work and the effort that I put in previously is going to carry me through. And if I've been successful so far, that worrying about success going forward, whether or not it's going to occur, just it doesn't seem super smart. And then relating that to good is that not only do you need to, or can you accept something and say that it is good, you can also have the sense of resiliency that you know that you've got through something that's worse than this before. How did you get on last time that you faced something that was difficult? But you're still here. By virtue of the fact that you're listening to this, you're still here.